You're probably wondering how exactly I got here, and I'm going to tell you the crazy situation that happened and how I'm going to deal with all of this crazy, jungled, matted mess. Well, here is what happened. So, I had my hair in my permanent parts and the roots were plaited. Now, because the roots were plaited, I thought, I can wear my hair in a twist out and still retain my parts. So that's what I did, right? And that was honestly amazing. I enjoyed wearing my hair out. It looked good. It had a nice little definition to it. It was popping. That was not the mistake. This was the mistake because where I went wrong, ooh, child, where I went wrong was I thought, because my hair is in its permanent part and it is plaited at the root, I can wash my hair loose. Yeah, you already know where this is going. So I jumped in the shower, did not pre-poo my hair beforehand. Actually, I did pre-poo, but only simply by spraying it with aloe vera juice and just applying a little bit of olive oil. I didn't detangle my loose hair. So obviously, remember my hair is loose, but the roots were plaited. So any shed hairs coming from the root, guess where those shed hairs still were? Still in the root. That was plaited and wasn't detangled. So hopped in the shower, tried to wash my hair loose, and as soon as the water hit it, I already knew that this was going tragically wrong. But there was kind of nothing I could do at that point, so I just carried on. And yeah, that was it. So then you would think that I would learn from this. And you would think that the next step is to detangle my hair once I'm out of the shower and again put it back in its twist. You would think that that's what I would do, right? Yeah, I didn't. I didn't. What I did instead was I thought, okay, my hair is already a tangled mess. So rather than just dealing with it in this tangled mess, let me put it in some big plaits. I think I might have done about four or five really big plaits, thinking if my hair is stretched, then when it has dried, I can then go back to detangle it. Who knows? I was absolutely fooling myself. And what you're looking at now is the result. So you can see my hair was an absolute mess. There were knots everywhere. And the whole length of this video is the length of me detangling just one section, one like small twisted section. And actually, I even cut parts out of the video. So you're talking, it probably took me a good 12 minutes, maybe even up to 15 minutes just to detangle one twist. And we're just talking about detangling. This does not yet include me washing my hair, moisturizing my hair, or retwisting it back. I'm telling you, I learnt my lesson that day. Okay, so essentially, how I'm detangling my hair is first of all, what I felt was really key was to not detangle my hair dry. I just knew that would not work. So I first made sure that I sprayed some warm water. I typically would use aloe vera juice, but I didn't have enough. So I just sprayed some warm water and I used African Pride pre-shampoo. It's like an aloe and coconut pre-shampoo, something like that. That product has really good slip, so it really did help the process, to be fair, even though my hair was really matted, but that product really helped the process a lot and helped me to reduce breakage. So that was the first key thing for me, to make sure that I don't do this on dry hair. Otherwise, I just would have been breaking my hair. The second thing, which is something that I have learned along the way of detangling my hair over the years, is to not pull strands apart, pulling them separate from each other. What I have learned to do is pull strands up and out of the knot, right? So rather than literally, pulling my left hand away from my right hand, what I'm doing is I'm locating the knot and I'm locating individual strands and I'm pulling them up and out of the knot. The third thing that was really key for me was to work in small sections. So of course I have the sections already because my hair was in these twists. Remember when I washed it the first time, it was in the twist where it was anchored at the root with a plait. So that's my initial section. However, because it was anchored at the root with a plait, that meant that I had three sections, right? Three sections within one section, if that makes sense. And so I'm literally detangling one of those sections within a larger twisted section. The third thing that you may notice me doing is that I'm doing my best to keep the hair stretched whilst I'm working with it. So even though I can't necessarily hold the whole section stretched because I may be working with a smaller knot, but whilst I'm working with that knot, I'm I'm kind of pulling the hair stretched so that I can have much easier access to the knot. And then lastly, I believe you guys will know this already and how important this is, but it is to finger detangle first before using any tools. And this is what you have seen me doing through this video. If I were to have tried to put a comb or a brush to my hair when you first saw it, my gosh, there would not be any strands left in this section anymore. I'm telling you, it would be a bold spot because that tool just would have ripped through all of those knots and it would have pulled right out right from the root of my hair. But you can see as I'm going in with the brush right now, because I have already detangled with my fingers, it is generally beginning to glide right through my hair. And that's because I've already removed all of the knots. What we don't want to do is we don't want to be trying to remove knots with a detangling tool. That's not what a detangling tool is for. The detangling tool is there ideally to remove shed hair. And now that I'm done with that, key thing is really just to get it back twisted so that again it doesn't cause any further tangles. Now, how I'll avoid making this mistake again is I think I've learned this lesson. Like, my hair does not enjoy being washed loose. Well, let me say this. I do not enjoy washing my hair loose, right? It's a tragedy. It's an absolute tragedy. So I won't be doing that almost like ever again. Now, even though it took so long to detangle each section, one thing that made this so much easier was actually the fact that my hair was already in those sections. Okay. And I do believe that this is a very big part of how I've been reducing breakage. Now, this is something that I actually learned from these ladies who have very long hair. So click on the video that's on the screen now and you'll be able to find out exactly what they do and how they use this technique to get to waist length hair.